Hello everyone and welcome to the WGLNA Season 2 Finals live in Las Vegas. I am Joshua Clutchgrade, joined on the set by Andre Gritorp-Hengshua and Randall Rukil Holcomb. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, he gave away his hat, and now the world will see the debut of Randall.
It's cold in here.
It's cold in here. Fantastic games yesterday that we saw, and one of the best series to date in World of Tanks esports. That was Pubstars versus Simple Tankers, actually bringing it to 2 shootouts. After the 7x42 shootout, it brought him back down to a 5-man team in a 40-point shootout, and we did have a declared victor. That was Simple Tankers, and they will be facing Fulcrum Gaming in the first matchup today. Our 2 semifinals, our 3rd, 4th place match, a fun match, and then the finals for today. I'm really impressed with all these different teams and what they have brought to the field here, but these 4 remaining teams have a lot of matches to get through in order to take home that $50,000 first place prize. Will it be Fulcrum once again? Is Simp tired of 2nd place? Or maybe we'll see an upset.
That's right, Clutch. 16 teams started this season, and now there are 4. Many of Red Herring will be here, and I'm expecting a lot of very interesting play. I mean, we have 4 different teams that have really drastically changed their play styles throughout Season 1 and Season 2. We saw a drastic just increase overall in skill level, but the Cunninghams deserve a very special shout out, as we saw them as a B or C team last season, and now they are definitely one of the premier teams, making it all the way to the top 4. Fulcrum Gaming and yet again Simp Main are in the top. Maybe 1 and 2 yet again, we will find out. And last but not least, we have our 4th team, Simple Tankers, another monster, making it to the top 4 once again. 3 of the 4 teams that were in Season 1 top 4 are again in Season 2.
Randall, what's going through the minds of all these players and all these teams? There's relief from yesterday, but I saw Fulcrum stay in the stands and watch every match. They were taking notes of every match.
The pressure is there. It's huge for Fulcrum Gaming. They have to perform. They can't afford to even win a series close. They can't. They have to maintain their superiority. They cannot afford to be taken to the brink by any of their opponents, especially in this next match that we're going to see. It is a team that brought them to the brink last time, bringing them another fight. So we'll see how they deal with that. Simp, though, the pressure's on to perform. They're probably relieved after yesterday for their win, and Simple Tankers, I think, is ecstatic for getting as far as they are right now.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what we have for today's matches on the board. First up, it is going to be Fulcrum versus Simple Tankers. After that, the Cunninghams versus Simp. We will know who will be in the finals after those matches. The 3rd and 4th place match will happen after that. Then our fun match, and finally the finals. It's going to be quite a whirlwind of World of Tanks battles, and these teams are going to bring out those special cards, those special plays, because it all comes down to this. This is for the prize pool. This is for the $100,000 prize pool, and they're going to have to bring out everything possible, and a lot of surprises as well. Fulcrum, some of the surprises, Relics in a Tier 8.
Yeah, I mean, Relics performed really well in his IS-3. Best stats IS-3.
Best stats, he's 100% in IS-3. He landed every shot, correct?
He did. 100% accuracy, great damage. He had 100% win rate in Tier 8s. I mean, this guy is a monster right now. They took off their training belts. They're ready. They put Relics into Tier 8. God knows what's awaiting us.
Now, some people are still new to the World of Tanks esports section of this beautiful game, and Wargaming's done such a great job in order to highlight these players and highlight the skills of the World of Tanks players throughout the world, but especially here in North America. To help break down the rules of what is a 7x42, once again, let's throw it over to Randall.
Thank you, Clutch. The rules of the 742 format are 7 players per team with 42 points allocated to each team. Every tank is equal in points to its tier. An IS-3, for example, is 8 points. A T1 Cunningham is 1 point. So teams will get to choose from any of our maps. Don't forget, our newest map this season is Cliff, which has given us some great and interesting play. However, after our best of 7 series, if we can't see a winner, we will go over to a shootout. And in a shootout, it is still 742. However, we line them up on the field of Malinovka between the 3 and the 5 line. Then our admin will declare when to fire. There's no countdown, no nothing. It's very exciting, tons of fun. Ideally, we don't run into one, but they are a wonderful way to figure out who definitely is the best after a best of 7.
And that's why we're all here to figure out who is the best in North America. And you guys can join us on the social media world at WGLNA on Twitter. And also make sure to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/WGLNA. And also our website with all the VODs, WGLNA.com. Plus a special promotion going on. Got some amazing Razor gear here to give out. So tweet us your pictures at WGLNA. And also make sure to put at Razor. And we'll send some of these beauties out there along with some in-game codes, because I'm sure you guys love those as well. And also a huge thank you to our sponsors, Azo Monitors, now available at Amazon.com, Kingston, Razor, and Alienware. Gentlemen, I'm excited to find out what's going to happen at Fulcrum Gaming versus Simple Tankers. And I know somebody else is going to be excited for the face-off. Her name is Lauren Elise, our beautiful host. Let's throw it on over to her.
Thank you so much. It is time for our first face-off of the day. I would like to invite the team captains to the stage, please. Aren't you guys a cute couple? So, you made it to the semifinals. Do you think you have what it takes to be the David, to beat their Goliath?
Yeah, we just got to do one game better than last time. Not too much.
Keep going.
Oh, that's good.
Anything else you want to say?
Oh, no, this is going to be a good game. We're ready to go. We got over the hump yesterday, a close one with Pub Stars. We're ready to go.
Good to hear. And you made it here to the semifinals. I think everyone's expecting to see Fulcrum in the finals. Do you feel any extra pressure due to the high expectations?
No, not really. As usual, our highest expectations are really on ourselves. But we played them last season. Excited for the rematch. It was really good. Definitely can't play worse than they did yesterday, so we're definitely expecting them to step it up. No, I'm just kidding. We love these guys. We practice them. They're a great team, so it should be some good matches.
All right, well, let's do our coin flip. As the higher seed, you get to choose heads or tails. If you win, you get to choose the map, or you can opt to defer. Heads or tails?
Tails.
I caught it. And it is tails. Would you like to choose the map or defer?
Steps.
You get to choose the spawning point.
Man, wide steps. I thought airfield was what we'd agreed upon. We're going to go steps south.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. You may take a seat.
We got one more thing. Hey, I'd like to give you a quick bet here. I bet Kobe's beard that we win.
Does Colby agree to this?
Oh, yeah. He doesn't have a choice.
Okay.
I will challenge that with Mr. Bitter's beard.
Mr. Bitter has a beard? Oh, okay, let's do Andre's beard. let's do, can we get that from you, Andre? Yeah, okay, against Andre's beard. All right, it's a bet, shake on that. All right, let's battle.
The stakes have been raised, ladies and gentlemen, in the facial hair war of Simple Tankers versus Fulcrum Gaming, but now Greetorp, an honorary member of Fulcrum Gaming, for this matchup. Best of luck, my bearded friend.
Thank you. I used to like Lauren Elise. No, it's completely fine. I'm excited for this. You know, I want to bring a little bit of attention to this. We already saw Fulcrum Gaming play a dominant series, 4-0. They did not have to show any of their special little strategies. However, Simple Tankers were pushed to the brink. We saw them play on steps. We saw the lineups, 3 Pershings, 2 1390s. That's a very manageable lineup that you can kind of see and maybe even counter. And we've seen 4 16s used on steps by Fulcrum Gaming. There's a lot of little tricky things I think Fulcrum Gaming can do because they already have that information. They have the sample set to really draw from and make conclusions to kind of pick apart how Simple Tankers want to play.
Let's go ahead and break down Fulcrum Gaming once again for all of our viewers. This is a team that went 6-1 during the group play of Season 2. This was a team that made it to first place in Season 1. Nagatron, the team leader, Soviet, Jackie Rudo, F0X, Friction, Dodoma, Hugo Maximus, and Relics round out the team. Yesterday they did defeat River of Blood, and now we see Jackie Rudo, F0X, and Relics on the screen now, waiting to get ready here. These teams do have about a minute 32 minutes in order to get their tank selection in, and once the admin calls, time, 30 seconds, they'll put in their tanks. But we always bring up the bullseye, the Goliath. Everyone is waiting to face this team to bring them down. Any tree can fall in the old proverb, and Fulcrum has that pressure. There we see Soviet looking relaxed but also focusing on the different type of mentality he's going to have to bring to each of these different maps. That's another thing that Fulcrum does well, is Soviet can interchange himself in a 1390, in an IS-3, and a T-69 when necessary.
The problem is Simple Tankers needs to be an earthquake right now because that is a rooted tree of Fulcrum Gaming. I mean, it is so hard to crack any part of their armor in this battle. And Simple Tankers, if we look at them Season 1, they were not expert tankers. Their stats showed that they were all very mediocre on the lower end even of the overall league. But where they really showed was the strategies, how they cooperated together, how they collaborated together. That's something really cool. Now, season number 2, very similar, except one person stands atop them all. That is Mournblade. Mournblade, oh no, 2 people, Mournblade and Jay Smooth. They've really risen up. Mournblade in his Pershing, his patented Pershing, has been amazing. One of the best utility drivers, tankers in the league. I think he's number 2. Jay Smooth, another really consistent player. Accuracy, fantastic. Damage, fantastic. Health sharing, fantastic. Not only that, he's calling strats, calling in-game. These are all things that's so difficult to pull together. They've really stepped up this season.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for battle number 1 of match number 1 of day 2 in the semifinals. Fulcrum versus Simple Tankers. Let's battle.
Let's look at the tanks, and you can already see a little bit of a change up. 2 Pershings and 3 1390s from Simple Tankers. That means they switched it out. They used to have an extra Pershing. Instead, they're going for the extra 1390. And also, Jackie Rudo is in a T-69 instead of the 416 like we had yesterday. 3 1390s and a T-32 being played by Hugo Maximus for Fulcrum Gaming.
This is while you guys were talking about the match beforehand, I was sitting here ready to illustrate. I had strats drawn up for what I expected for both sides. They are falling in exactly where I expected, a southwest with maybe something up the middle. This Pershing play is very interesting out of Simple Tankers. Fulcrum Gaming playing the east side. It is the strongest thing to do as the north side. It's just an incredibly good strategy and a great approach to this map. They're going to take that east side control. They're going to secure it all, and then following this, they're going to actually probably have to leave. I'd expect Fulcrum Gaming wants to get out of here and probably take some control of the south, their enemy's cap, get rid of a T1, or return north, because they will eventually come to find that, guess what, Simple Tankers have been very aggressive in their opening, and you can tell that they expected the opener out of Fulcrum Gaming.
I love this for the Pershing play of Mournblade and Zakami pushing all the way to the north side. This is going to force Fulcrum Gaming to have to deal with this in the north. F0X is going to seem in the T1, and now Fulcrum, with that spread in the East Valley, is going to maybe commit 2 of their light tanks to go down to the flag capture area of Simple Tankers, since they feel it's going to be very open with these Pershings to the north. But not all the tanks are committed from Simple Tankers to go towards the north side. A couple of the lighter tanks, the 1390s, are at the E2 section, while another one in the H4 trying to scout anyone crossing that path. But using that road, that trench road, as cover to move to the north side, I like the initial aggression from the Pershings.
There were shots fired, I believe, from 1390s onto F0X, but as you can see, no connections. This is huge. And wow, Kill Panic goes down to Friction on the southern portion of the map. That is a T1 advantage going to Fulcrum Gaming at 7 minutes in the match.
Another shot fired. Nothing seems to land there on that hit, but Executus in the 1390, the one that landed the necessary shot in order for Simple Tankers to go to the shootout, is again in the 1390 and cruising to the south back to the flag in order to get into a defensive position and to scout where is the rest of Fulcrum that is not sighted on the north.
And Mournblade is now taking fire on the northern portion of the map. He is down to 853. He catches fire for a moment, but he has an automatic fire extinguisher. He is safe for now. But it looks like Soviet is going to take a risk and maybe go for shots, but no, he will back off. Mournblade is in a horrible position right now. He needs to back off. And if he cannot, failing to do that, he will go down shortly. F0X is doing a fantastic job in his T1 of just being great bait. Mournblade really wants that T1 kill, and he just can't go for it.
He should have gone for it right in the beginning as everybody was still reacting. Their relics goes down, though. As you can see, a big southern side move over.
But in the north, Jackie Rudo now is engaging Mournblade. The T-32, Nagatron, and Soviet are also coming in, and there goes Mournblade. Very quickly down
Zach
now.
Kumi's going to be completely surrounded by the rest of Fulcrum here. Soviet's going to line up his shots patiently as Jackie Rudo hides behind the rock for a second to make sure the Pershing is not going to aim for him. Hugo Maximus takes a hit in the T-32. Looks like that one missed, though. And Nagatron fires on the move in the 1390. Another miss from Nagatron, but there is the final hit. Hugo Maximus in the T-32. Able to get a land as well.
The trigger was all in the south side. After relics went down, they know at 1390 is there, so they instantly say overmatch, go on the north side, and now they have an overwhelming advantage, 33-25. It's one tier 8 tank, but trust me, that is enough to make it such a decisive win for Fulcrum Gaming.
Yeah, they did a great job of predicting the fact that Simple Tankers would split themselves up. And as you saw, it took them all of about a minute and a half to get that T-32 back into the north so that they can make this push and succeed. Now Hugo Maximus is pushing straight down the middle, chasing away J-Smooth. And these 1390s have a chance here. It's possible they can kite out the T-69 and the T-32. If Fulcrum doesn't play it smart enough and splits themselves up, there's still a chance for 1390s to come back. But Soviet, we were talking about before, fantastic 1390 driver. Nagatron, a incredible 1390 driver. I don't expect that Simple Tankers is going to be able to deal with Fulcrum now. They're just too far down.
And Fulcrum has the T-32 on the map. The tank with no cons. And Hugo Maximus pushing down on the road here. He has been using that tank consistently throughout the finals. And being in those hold down positions and also being a powerhouse of a tank in front of a 1390 as the rest of Fulcrum gets the surround is completely useful in order to get those back shots in the weaker armor of these tanks.
Executus does a great job here of passive spotting Jackie Rudo. He's not going to blow his cover yet. He's just inside of a bush. He's going to remain unspotted for a little while. Pub Whisperer, on the other hand, does get himself spotted. And actually, that could be very good for Executus.
There still is a plan, though, for Simple Tankers. If you look how many 1390s exist, 3 against 2 in favor of Simple Tankers. The mobility is in the advantage of Simple Tankers. So if they're able to take out both 1390s, which they are targeting down right now, they can technically run away and draw out the game. So it's not completely over right now. Yes, there's a big advantage, but how does Fulcrum Gaming actually use this advantage to win the battle? That's the big question.
And all of Fulcrum is spotted just for a second here, but now Jackie Rudo and Hugo Maximus are the ones that are seen. And J-Smooth's in a good spot here to get some flank fire on the T-32 as Executus moves in on the other side. J-Smooth comes up across the cliff, but Executus is going to be isolated and destroyed. Jackie Rudo with that kill. Pub Whisperer is going to be locked in next, and he's going to fall very quickly, but he gets the kill against Jackie Rudo. And now Soviet at 371 versus Pub Whisperer at 127. Soviet is able to clean up that shot, and Hugo Maximus and the T-32 is going to be on the chase for the 1390 of J-Smooth and Enderus as Nagatron rounds around the corner. He does take a shot to the front of his tank against J-Smooth. Another trading fire here. J-Smooth has not taken any damage yet, and he's going to back away, but there's too much fire coming out of Fulcrum for J-Smooth to get out of here effectively.
Again, he can still do it, but he needs to take out Nagatron and Soviet, and right now I think he's very close to clipping, if not already clipping. Yeah, there he is, just going to run away, not going to put any shots on his opponents. That's 40 seconds that he'll have to wait.
Nagatron stops the fire. He goes for the track shot, but he does miss. A second connection will not track. He wants this track shot. He wants to stop J-Smooth. J-Smooth will actually turn around now, and he will actually, he's going to just do a loop, maybe engage Soviet. He can't decide quite what to do. He will engage Soviet. Not a connection. Stop firing on the move, J-Smooth. Stop to fire.
Well, he's scared because that T-32 is up on the ledge. If he stops there, he's
well, if he wants to clutch this, he's going to have to let all of his shots count. He can't waste these shots. He's fired 3 now.
Oh, gosh. And again, missing on F0X. He needs to take out Nagatron, needs to take out Soviet. 3 minutes left in this game, and it's not looking so good for J-Smooth, but now going directly into his opponent. Soviet will go down. Nagatron takes 3 shots to kill him, but he has less hit points. Another big shot from that T-32, and J-Smooth just 2 shots away from dying.
J-Smooth on the run. Hugo stopped for a moment. Another shot from Nagatron. Tries to line it up. Around the corner, and he gets it. Nice shot by Nagatron to close out battle number 1. Victory for Fulcrum Gaming.
couple of mistakes there, but really unfortunate. Fulcrum Gaming was able to execute that so well, realizing if two 1390s or three 1390s are down in the southern side, instantly we can take out those non-auto loaders and not really take a lot of damage. That was the critical thing, taking out the T1 in the southern side that said, hey, simple tankers, be careful of your cap, because I can be threatening your base at any time. As soon as they split up and Mournblade, or rather the two Pershings, did not back up, that was their critical mistake. They have to form together because the mobility of those 1390s splitting the map is too difficult for simple tankers to deal with.
And the commitment didn't come from Fulcrum to the north. They waited, and F0X in that spawning in that position to get that scouting was so huge for Fulcrum, just around that rock, to know where those Pershings were, and also to know where the rest of the tanks were not. They were not to the north, and that allowed them to isolate what Simple Tankers had with Zakumi and Mournblade. But Randall, what were your thoughts on that matchup?
I felt like Simple Tankers had a very strong opening. It was just fine opening to have as Simple Tankers. The unfortunate part is they split up. That was it. And then Fulcrum Gaming was perfect in their prediction. They predicted that their opponent would split up, and they grouped, and then they had the trigger. You were talking about it. In the south, that trigger just went, and it was over. Once they got those two Pershings, they couldn't run away. They can't kite it out. 1390s maybe, but no, not the Pershings. They're just too slow. And Nagatron wasted a few shells there, but Soviet made almost every single shot he fired hit. And it's I think he went 10 for 11 in this past battle. Fantastic job by Soviet, doing over 2K damage in a 1390. He was the one who was making sure to make the shots count, so the Pershings couldn't keep putting out enough damage to maybe pay for their loss.
Fulcrum Gaming was never really reacting. They were just waiting for triggers, right? And that sounds kind of weird, but what they did was they set the amount of potential options there were for simple tankers. They prepared for all of those situations, and then instantly, as soon as they see it, they go into that mode. And that's what's so cool about Fulcrum Gaming. A lot of people would be like, okay, they're doing this, how do we move? And then from there, they move. And that extra 2-3 seconds where you're thinking how to move is the big problem. You have to have everything already set up, so in the blink of an eye, you're going to be able to make the right calls at every single time. And that's where Fulcrum Gaming is really just crushing the competition. It's the fundamentals that we always talk about, but the planning is so important, and some of the hardest things to do in life, in every single video game, in everything that you do. Planning is the most essential part in being successful.
That's right. But both these teams have planned to win, and it's not over yet. It's only one battle victory for Fulcrum Gaming in this best-of-7 series. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, the battle continues between these two teams. Stay tuned. You're watching WGLNA. Hey everybody, welcome back to the WGLNA Season 2 Finals, live from Las Vegas. Saw a little clip there about the Hunt the Pros event that we had, which was a lot of fun, by the way. I usually used a Pershing on my account and did quite well with it. Some people were a little bit annoyed by how well I did, so it was a lot of fun, and a lot of the pros here were able to participate. Actually, every pro in Season 2 got an account to play, and I look forward to playing even more with the public on those pub games.
I had no shame. I used the MTLS. Oh, it's an awesome tank. 120 damage a shot, autoloader. I think five rounds in that? Is it 5 or 6?
It's just an absurd tank.
It's an absurd
That's
tank.
all
it doesn't
is.
matter.
It's
120, and I
absurd.
think it's tier 3. How does that happen? It's awesome.
I don't know.
But I mean, if you kill me, you get 150 gold. So I have to make it hard a little bit.
I felt bad using the T-32 at times because I felt impenetrable.
I used the IS-3 all the time, and it was glorious. Absolutely glorious.
A lot of fun. We have a lot of fun with everyone that plays World of Tanks. If you've never played World of Tanks, it's completely free. All you have to do is go to worldoftanks.com to download the game. And also, World of Warplanes has recently been released. If tanks is not your thing, but you love aviation, especially in the golden age of military aviation around World War II and a little bit into the Vietnam War, make sure to check that out as well. And the accounts are now unified, so if you buy some premium time in World of Tanks, it will count towards World of Warplanes and vice versa. But
let's be honest, everybody's a tank person.
I
didn't know I was a tank person until I played World of Tanks.
I mean, once I fell in love with the T-32, it's all I needed, man. And then another Pershing, and the M4, and the M4 Sherman Jumbo.
IS-3, best tank, though.
That's pretty good. Let's go ahead and jump into battle number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Fulcrum Gaming versus Simple Tankers continues. This time, it is on Himmelsdorf.
hide your kids, hide your wife, because Relics is on an IS-3.
Oh no.
100% win rate. If the stats hold true, Fulcrum Gaming has an easy win, but
He
we'll
also,
find
has
out.
he also has a wet ammo rack too.
Yeah, he doesn't mess around. 250-100s in IS-3. A Tiger 2 being played by Mournblade, and a 1390. Exciting, sensational play out of Simple Tankers. On the other side, we have Hugo Maximum, or excuse me, 2 110s, 2 5100s, and an IS-3. And we have a Courtyard strategy.
Courtyard from Fulcrum. This didn't work last time in the first matchup they had against Wreak Havoc, but after that, they've refined that movement, and now Fulcrum Gaming is going to have some serious map control at less than a minute into the game here, and pushing on that flag cap pressure. This is actually going to make Simple Tankers turn around. Simple Tankers in the blue, Fulcrum in the red. Some shots fired against Mournblade here, taking a little damage in that Tiger 2. He's going to try to trade some shots with Nagatron in that 110, just down Tank Alley here, as Mournblade's going to try to hold that area, but Soviet is going to get the first blood, killing that T1.
Relic takes a big shot now. Return fire from Zakuma. Zakuma is going to get a big shot because there's a big flank coming out on the on the AB line.
And Soviet is taken down to 353 hit points between J-Smooth, Mournblade, and Zakume. The three of them just completely decimating these 5100 flank. This Friction is also attempting to come in. He's still at full health though. Not a lot of shots fired. Now Executus actually in the 1390 will be going and flanking as Relics and Nagatron are going in right onto Mournblade. He's going to get taken down so quickly. This DPM of these 110s is fantastic.
The isolation technique is going to work very, very effectively in that 110 from Nagatron and Relics in the IS-3. Executus in the 1390 getting some hits into Relics at the back, but he's going to be out of shots soon as some of those shots actually bounce. Pub Whisperer is able to take down Soviet, and the firefight continues just past Tank Alley here as Relics and Nagatron are going to have to back away. Nagatron at super low health at 374. They're going to start to push in here toward the north side and maybe get on Zakumi. They will. Zakumi at 189 health gets a good hit against Relics, but Relics gets the kill against Zakumi. And now Relics will push over to the north, and another isolation is going to happen against J-Smooth in the 5100.
Executus coming in from behind, though. He needs to reset this cap. 20 seconds left. F0X has a lot of them. Friction has the other half. And here he comes. First shot is going to miss, but there he goes. Rams into Executus. And now he needs to take out Friction, or at least damage him. There it is.
Does get the damage and the reset. J-Smooth at 95 HP, though. And Pub Whisperer, the only one left alive that can do any damage against what's left of Fulcrum Gaming. And Relics is going to be the point man in the IS-3 against Pub Whisperer. Shot will fire against Relics and one from Nagatron. Another hit against Relics. He's at 88 HP, and Pub Whisperer cleans him up. 3 tanks now left alive for Fulcrum. 1 tier 8 from Pub Whisperer, and Enderus is still on that flag.
Blue base is under attack. 15 seconds left, and I don't think he'll be able to get there. Pub Whisperer is being jammed up by Nagatron beautifully, and doesn't have a lot of shells left as it stands. Hugo Maximus even there with his 110. The T1 in the southern side that was capping out the red gates gets taken out, and there's the last shot. Nagatron will take it. Fulcrum Gaming up 2-0, and the legend of Relics continues. 100% win rate.
Continues the legend of Relics. That is going to be the theme of Fulcrum Gaming most likely for the Season 2 finals, but also the 110 of Nagatron performing very well in the isolation of Relics and Nagatron, pushing up in that Tank Alley section after the team already went past the courtyard for that map control. It came down, I love to use the word isolation, but if you have 2 against 1, you get the 1 kill and you continue on. It's the avalanche effect. You're able to take down more of your opposing team's tanks, less damage is going to happen against your team, and then you win. It's that isolation principle of controlling the map and finding those tanks, getting the right flank, pinpointing your shots, and getting the kill.
I felt like a lot of the tank choices, though, came into effect. The Tiger 2 did not work out at all for Mournblade. Very unfortunate. We always see him in these unorthodox picks, but this time around, it didn't work out. I think that comes down to the map. Himmelsdorf, not really a good map, in my opinion, for that type of tank, because you can easily just get surrounded. You're in close combat, so things get really, really dicey. And if you don't have good armor, well, I mean, Tiger 2 has an okay armor, but if you don't have good like shots on, if you don't have the right positioning, it's very, very easily going to snowball out of control, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, he got ganged, and directly after that, you just saw a snowball effect of everybody just getting trounced because nobody was in position for that Tiger 2.
Not at all. Now, Tiger 2 is great on damage, but I don't really consider it a great brawling tank.
No.
What would you think?
Yeah,
Randall?
I really don't think it was a very strong choice for a map like Himmelsdorf, along with a 1390. I don't understand the real strategy that Simple Tankers was going for. It's I really just don't know what they were thinking there. I just don't think it was a good lineup. I really think Fulcrum brought a more comprehensive strategy. Simple Tankers trying something more flexible, trying to test out the Tiger 2. It got a rebalance recently, which is nice, but just not a 742 worthy tank, I think, yet.
Well, I
Or
mean,
at least
it
not
was
on
even played in
Himmelsdorf.
the most optimal way possible, right? When you're looking down tank alley, you're in that long range shot. That's where it's going to perform best. And we didn't even see the connections onto Nagatron. The connection that we saw on Relics was done by Zakume and his IS-3. These little tiny things, they weren't able to capitalize on the Tiger 2, and it's very hard to do so in Himmelsdorf. Overall, it's unfortunate. I felt like Simple Tankers were not only opening countered, but on top of that, they had, I wouldn't say a complete counter, but they had a suboptimal tank lineup.
Well, it's not over yet for Simple Tankers. Fulcrum is up 2-0. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, the first matchup of the day, the semifinals of Fulcrum. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the WGLNA Season 2 Finals live from Las Vegas. Day 2 right now. These teams are competing for a $100,000 prize pool. This is it. One of these teams will go home in the semifinals. The other team will make it to the finals. I'm Joshua Clutch Gray, joined at the desk by Andre Gritorp Hengshua and Randall Rukil Holcomb.
Clutch, you might think I'm a little bit worried for Simple Tankers, but I am not. We saw the same thing happen last season, and guess what Simple Tankers did? They came back.
That's right.
They're in the comeback business. They're in the belief business.
They are in the belief business, and Randall's also in the belief business as well, but it's a little bit tough to believe in Mournblade and the Tiger 2. I think he should stick to the Pershing, especially on Ruinberg, which is going to be our next match.
Yeah, they're just trying out new things. We're going to see how a few new strats, some a little wild out there, playing a 13-9 against something like Himmelsdorf. I don't know what to expect. If I'm Fulcrum Gaming, I don't know what to expect out of Simple Tankers right now. Simple Tankers could bring just about any lineup at any time, and I don't know what they're going to do with it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for battle number 3 on Ruinberg between Fulcrum Gaming and Simple Tankers. Let's battle.
Here we go, a much more standard lineup coming out of Simple Tankers. 2 5100s, an IS-3 Pershing, and a 1390 against, just one 110, 3 5100s, and a 1390 Relics back on his T1. Kind of putting the training wings back on.
Yeah, they said, you know what, it was quite effective. We don't want to overplay the odds. 2 for 2, we'll keep it that way, Relics, at least for now. The top side, the north side, will be spawning for Simple Tankers, and they're going to head towards the Delta Village. Well, at least one tank will, but they're actually going to also stay at the crossroads. And J Smooth will be the one heading to the Delta Village. Mournblade, Executus, and Zakumi will be spotted. And the Pershing is going to trade some shots with the 110, but it's a miss from both sides. As Mournblade's going to back up and try to hug the side of these buildings here, and he's going to see Friction at least push a little bit further out. Another shot from Hugo Maximus in the 110, and it does damage Mournblade. And there's Friction, the 5100, trying to cruise up here to get a couple more shots against Mournblade. Another bounce, but another hit. Mournblade in some serious trouble at 177, and he's going to be the first to fall.
No return fire. Those 5100s didn't take a lot of damage there. That means they will be able to get all their shells off, and on top of that, they penetrated all their shots. Looking good so far for Fulcrum Gaming.
Jackie Rudo's able to take down Pub Whisperer. We can hear Fulcrum behind us yelling, get Pub Whisperer. And now J Smooth and Executus are in trouble. J Smooth at just above half health here. He does land another shot against Jackie Rudo on the retreat move. Trying to land another one, but Nagatron gets the kill on Executus, and now J Smooth is by himself in the Delta Village. The only tier 8 left alive is Zakumi, and he is in a firefight against Hugo Maximus in the 110. And some shots from the Delta into Zakumi on the side. The IS-3 is in trouble, as the 2 T1s are going to try to scatter to get away from the firefight and to stay alive on this match to at least play for the draw.
Beautifully done so far from Fulcrum Gaming. This is definitely going to be another match win, or excuse me, another battle win. I mean, it was perfect. They reacted exactly how they should have. Simple Tankers did not. All guns were fired on the same target for Fulcrum Gaming. They were going in prepared to brawl right here. Simple Tankers, they just didn't adjust. They didn't get into the positions to target these 5100s down. And when you see the firepower advantage, 3 5100s for Fulcrum Gaming, you have to make those type of reactions and play more defensive.
Relics and Endress in a firefight of the T1s. Endress is able to win it out, but Kill Panic in his T1 was on the way to help Endress to stay alive, but now Hugo Maximus is spotted. Kill Panic trying to get away from there, and Fulcrum's going to go for the flag cap, not trying to chase these T1s.
It wouldn't be a Fulcrum game win if Relics didn't die.
That's right. That's right. It was close. It was close. We can even hear some of Fulcrum going, oh no, when Relics died. It was a close firefight here. 17 hit points against 27, but Endress unloaded first. Hugo gets the revenge kill though. Kill Panic, the last one left alive. Nagatron's going to go for the ram and gets the kill. And that does it for battle number 3, going to Fulcrum Gaming.
One battle away from taking it and advancing on into the final for the second consecutive time. Fulcrum Gaming looking very, very powerful here. I'm not going to count out Simple Tankers because they've been in this situation before, but it looks very bleak. They're just not looking cohesive right now against Fulcrum Gaming. That might be a couple things. Maybe it's not their day so far, or maybe it's just Fulcrum Gaming, that caliber of play that is just looking so sharp, aggressive, on point, together. Everything is going for Fulcrum Gaming.
Landing those shots and getting the proper calls out on who to focus is very important at any time during the battle, but especially the beginning. And since they got the kill on Mournblade, they already had that advantage and pushed that advantage into a win. What could have Simple Tankers done differently, Randall?
Well, the push out of Fulcrum Gaming I felt was incredibly risky. There was so much potential there for it to fail. If you saw an aggressive move into the Delta Village by Simple Tankers, if Simple Tankers had put more tanks to the east and just pushed very hard, taken that key part of the map early on, instead of kind of splitting up. I'd say they didn't take it very heavily. They just kind of spread out a little bit, tried to blanket that side of the map. That blanket side of the map, especially with a Pershing away from any hull down, really hurt Mournblade in the opening. He didn't have any hull down for his Pershing. He was no better than a T-32 stuck out in the open or an IS-3 stuck out in the open. And he had actually less health and less armor than those tanks. So really unfortunate positioning, and just a strat that I'm not sure was their best. I feel like they're not playing at their best right now.
Yeah, and then being out in the open, those are the easiest shots for the 5100. And if you look at the winning 5100 play, you're only getting 5 shots on target. 5 shots, guess what? That's enough to kill an entire tier 8 tank. So that makes a lot of sense. If you get all 6 shots off, then you're gold. You're looking to be above winning AMX 5100s. When an IS-3, when a Pershing is out in the open, that's the easiest shot. You hit him in the side, you always pen. You hit him in the front, you always pen. And from there, it's just cleanup duty.
That's right. And the substitution going in right now for Simple Tankers. They do have 3 of the other teammates on the bench here. And as he gets set up, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We come back. Can Fulcrum Gaming close out the series, or will this be the greatest comeback in the history of Simple Tankers? We'll find out after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the WGLNA Season 2 Finals. Fulcrum Gaming is up 3-0 right now against Simple Tankers. Fulcrum Gaming 1 battle away to make it to the finals. Simple Tankers 1 battle away to going home, or at least being in the 3rd, 4th place matchup later today after the 2nd semifinal, and that is going to feature some two teams that have performed excellently this season. That was Cunningham's and Simp, and I do look forward to that matchup, but I also look forward to what's going to happen on Ensk, which is going to be our next map, Randall.
Yeah, Ensk is a map that I expect to see heavy 6-line play. Both teams just dedicating tanks to try and win on the 6-line. We all know Fulcrum Gaming loves to dominate that middle area of the map. It gives a kind of middle control. Also, you get to spot one way or the other, east or west, if your opponent's doing that. Most of the time we're going to see west, but you also set up with contingencies to look down the middle for any kind of tracks push, which could happen. And actually, as we go into my screen, we can see from the south, I love heading a little bit to the right to the left of the road down the middle here, and parking a tank right here. Also, further back, you can have a tank in a bush right about there in the south spawn. So 2 tanks like this, one spots, and the other has perfect fire right down that line. On the north side, I've seen a few tankers actually hide their tank in a little train right there. I've thought about this position. I find it inferior. I really hope we don't see any tanks head off to that in this next battle.
Well, we're going to find out, ladies and gentlemen, as we jump into battle number 4 on Ensk between Fulcrum Gaming and Simple Tankers.
3 5100s, an IS-3, and a Pershing on the side of Simple Tankers. We got a 110, 2 5100s, an IS-3, and a 1390 on the side of Fulcrum Gaming. Relics yet again in that IS-3. We'll find out. The statistics will prove again right.
I think they will so far, especially with the wet ammo rack. Executus in the 5100 is going to be in a defensive position up in the C2 line, along with a small spread in that top quadrant. But Mournblade in the Pershing will destroy F0X first, and he's going to be in an advantageous position at the center of the railway here with his 400-meter range on his tank. And this is what we saw throughout the season so far. This is why Mournblade performs so well in this tank. This is why his stats are the best, especially on this map, especially in this position, to get those cross shots with that view range.
Ruka was saying it, the 6th line is so important. The reason why that is, it just, on the very basic level, it gives you an extra lane of crossfire. Mournblade, though, needs to be so careful. 2 shots already on him. I know he got tracked, but now he finally gets behind cover.
Yeah, that was a huge stack by Fulcrum Gaming, putting 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks all within the 6th line, and they are all prepared to counter out Mournblade. Fulcrum Gaming has said, you know what, Mournblade's in a Pershing, he's going to go down the 6th line. It is obvious. There are a few times when he's not going there, so we're going to counter him out, and now he's down to 940. They had to sack a T1 to verify his position and bait him forward, but it seems to be working out because now the health points are in favor of Fulcrum Gaming, even though they're down to T1.
So Kume gonna poke out here. He might have shots on Nagatron and Relics pretty soon. Shots will go out, none of them connect. You know, it's so interesting to see the difference. 3 5100s on the side of Simple Tankers that have the firepower advantage. Just swap it from last game, and you can see how defensive Fulcrum Gaming is being, because they realize, hey, we can't be going into an all-out brawl right now, or we're gonna die. The 5100s just represent more health and more damage.
And the continuation of the push here of Pub Whisperer across the way, jumping over to him in the 5100. He's going to get a great shot against Nagatron at 1390, and this is going to be a stick and move type play from Simple Tankers. They don't want to go on for a full aggression. They want to get a couple hits and then back away to get away from the isolation that can happen from Fulcrum Gaming that has shut down Simple Tankers multiple times. Another hit against Relics, looking like it's coming from the Pershing. Pub Whisperer here is going to have to be careful because he may be some really good bait here just around that corner, but Zachary is taking some significant damage in the IS-3. And now another shot from Pub Whisperer against Nagatron, trying to line it up as Nagatron pushes up against Mournblade. Mournblade at 434, he's going to miss the shot against Nagatron. He's going to get hit, and he goes down.
Nice. He was trying to get really close up, so only the turret was able to be hit, but not fast enough. Now,
in reaction, though, Simple Tankers is going to push on Hugo and Relics. Get ready, because here comes the surround. Executus will get first shots, but he will not actually hit Relics with his first hit.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's really slow because J Smooth was so far away from everything. Hugo Maximus now going to be gunned down. J Smooth has a lot of shots still left, but is it going to be enough? Hugo Maximus, 24 hit points. J Smooth, just a couple shots away. It will be enough. Hugo Maximus will go down. Soviet now going to be the next target, but Nagatron still being that thorn in the side, all the way in the back, now looking to cap as he's reloading.
Soviet at 143, he falls to J Smooth. Executus at 406 HP is now going to be on the run from Friction as Friction tries to get in a better spot or at least recover where he is. Red base going to be under attack, and this is going to spread out Simple Tankers for a bit, but they're going to head to the north to try to stop that as soon as possible. Jackie Rudo in the T1, cruising around trying to get behind some of that debris as J Smooth, Pub Whisper, and Executus, the tanks still left alive here along with Enderus, are going to move in quickly. Nagatron on the screen trying to get the shot against Pub Whisperer. He lands another hit, but Executus moves in with a higher HP value in the 5100, and he's going to try to line up another shot, but Nagatron gets the cleanup kill. And Pub Whisperer is going to be on the run.
Tap. There it is. Great play from Nagatron, realizing that he's just in range, but there it is. A shot from J Smooth will take him down. J Smooth needs to take out Jackie Rudo, as he is the only one on cap. It will come down to a 5100 against a 5100, but Friction, full life. J Smooth only half.
This is going to be one heck of a duel. Even though J Smooth is at a disadvantage because of his HP, he also is going to try to kill Jackie Rudo. But again, this shot could be the death of Simple Tankers if he takes it against the T1. He wants to go for the ram, but he goes for the shot, and the T1 doing a little bit of damage, but now J Smooth is going to be up against Relics, or excuse me, against Friction in a full health 5100, and another shot from Friction against J Smooth. And it's now going to be a tank battle, a one-on-one battle at the 5-minute mark And Friction is going to be on the chase against J Smooth now. J Smooth, 229 HP and a couple shots, probably just one shot for Simple Tankers to be sent to the third, fourth place matchup for Fulcrum to continue on to the finals. Friction closing in, and he gets the shot. Ladies and gentlemen, Fulcrum Gaming once again is going to the finals for the WGLNA.
Overall, some clean play. I like the thought process of Simple Tankers, but Fulcrum Gaming was a little bit too fast. They were doing a big rotation. J Smooth was going to help out more and Blade. If they hesitated, if Fulcrum Gaming hesitated a little bit, Nagatron would have been crushed if he did that same push, because a 5100 was going to go support a Pershing. As it stood, Fulcrum Gaming decisive, reactive, in control, taking out that Pershing, and then from there the domino effect, anticipating the push in, having the right flanks, having the right crossfires, and taking out every single one of the Simple Tankers until it was 5100 against 5100.
Until it was over, and Friction gets those last kills, and he has secured their spot in the finals. Go ahead and throw it over to Waffles for an interview with Nagatron.
Hey, I'm here with Nagatron from Fulcrum Gaming. Congratulations, guys. You're the first team for the finals. Very decisive victory against a team that a lot of people thought might have what it took to get past you. You 4-0'd them. How do you feel after that, winning so decisively against a team like that?
I think it goes without saying, I feel great. We're playing up. Definitely keeping everything nice and tight together. Plans are going exactly how we expect, so feeling good going in the finals.
Awesome. Well, we're excited to see you there. You'll either be playing Simp or Cunningham. They're coming up for round 2. We'll be back with that match after this commercial.